joliet.gov. Sponsored by the state of Illinois in partnership with the IBA.
It's Wednesday night. EDGYTIM is here. Coach Rod is here. The best high school football fans in the state are here. It's time for Pigskin Preview. Coaches, players, fans, and experts. You get them all right here on Pigskin Preview. Powered by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy and John Wright.
And good evening and welcome to the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM here along with Evan Bredesen. Joe, Coach Joe, we'll see. I'm hearing rumors. He might be here second half of the show. We will see. Appreciate everybody listening and tuning in, certainly watching off of Facebook as well as listening on 1340 WJOL. This edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy and New Lennox and John Wright and Joliet, like a good neighbor. Evan.
State Farm is there.
You might have a job there, buddy. And Pizza Mia, 2 area locations, Homer Glen and New Lennox. Visit Pizza Mia at pizzamiaonline.com. That is pizzamiaonline.com. Polls. No time for that nonsense. We have to go out to the phone lines. Scott Slocum live on location at the Don Lattis annual WJOL baseball tournament. Scott, going to give us an update on the games ongoing right now. Scott, take it away.
I've never been on Edgy's show before. This is quite an honor. He's been on mine about 500 times, so this is the first. But we'll just get you a real quick update. Minooka, Plainfield Central. Minooka was up 1-0. Plainfield Central tied it. Minooka's just gone ahead 2-1 in the 6th inning. And here at Lockport, this one's wild. Lockport was trailing Providence thanks to a Gavin Gomez 2-run home run for the Celtics, 2-1. Lockport scratched the run to tie it at 2. And then in the 4th inning, look out. The Porters actually, the Porter scored 4 times. Matt Santarelli, an RBI single. And then Vic Izaguero hit a 3-run bomb. And Lockport in command now, 6-2, bottom of the 6th inning. The Porters have won 2 in a row of these tournaments, and it looks like they're about ready to punch their ticket to the championship game tomorrow night. So it looks like as of right now, Minooka and Lockport could possibly meet tomorrow night for the title. And the consolation side of things, Joliet West leads Lincoln Way West 2-0 in the 5th, and Joliet Catholic up 6-1 on Joliet Central in the 5th. Edgy, we'll call you a little bit later with the final scores from all the games.
All right, Scott Slocum again reporting live from the Don Lattis WJOL annual baseball tournament. Always a big deal, certainly here in the Will County area. I've had the pleasure of calling a few of those games with the gentleman sitting right across from me. And again, we appreciate Scott giving us updates on all those games. And don't go anywhere. Scott mentioned he will be back a little bit later in this show to give us some finals and to set the scene for the finals tomorrow.
Yes, championship
level. There you go. All right, so we are here to talk IHSA football. As of right now, we certainly have an open line up until 6:25. Mark Coglianese from Providence Catholic will join us. And that, of course, is the WJOL Game of the Week. The Celtics will host Montini tomorrow out at Bishop Caffer Stadium. It's a 7:30 kickoff. You can hear that game again right here on 1340 WJOL. Evan, we also need to get into several area games previewing this week. There's some good ones. We talked about before we came on the air during the afternoon rush. We talked about Lincoln Way East and Lincoln Way West, 2 5-0 teams. Lincoln Way West, Evan, maybe is this their time to step up and see what they can do against the Griffins?
I think they have the offense to do it. And what I mean by that is having seen Lincoln Way West, when they've been successful offensively, they've played keep away from the other teams, kind of more ball control style offense from what we're familiar with Lincoln Way West teams in the past. And they've been able to hang on to the football, long drives, keep the other team's offense off the field. And listen, if you're going to beat Lincoln Way East, you have to keep their offense off the field. So they have the offense to do it. The question is, are they going to be able to execute come Friday night?
Yeah, and that is just one of several games we want to go over and highlight. There's one on this schedule that isn't getting a lot of play, and there's some obviously pretty strong reasons why that's the case. But, Evan, I'm going to throw one at you right now. Joliet Catholic hosting Marmion. And the reason I say this is when Marmion has been fortunate enough to play this year, which unfortunately has only been 2 times this season,
right,
Thank you, COVID delays. Cadets have been pretty tough, and this is it. I mean, this is the last game of the season. First of all, if I'm Jaws, I kind of don't know what you're getting into really with Marmion. I mean, you don't have a whole lot to go off of. I don't think they've played in a couple of weeks here, and that's a pretty tough team. And Joliet Catholic has just steamrolled everyone. They could very well steamroll Marmion tomorrow night, but I don't know, Evan. Something tells me I wouldn't overlook the Cadets just yet.
Especially when you're talking about the fact that this is only going to be their third game.
Yeah.
There's not a lot on tape. And listen, coaches will tell you the ability to prep and have enough tape to go over and be able to figure out tendencies and things of that nature, that's extremely valuable. The kids, they just want to play. The coaches, though, they're still in coach mode, which means they're preparing how they normally prepare for games. They're not doing anything too radically different from what they would normally do. And when you don't have that much tape to go off of, and you have a team, they're 1-1. It's interesting footing to go on, especially the last game of the year. So you're going to have some kids who are maybe just kind of like, it's the last one. Let's get through this. Or I've got baseball practice tomorrow after the game. How am I going to get? Those things happen. You hate to say it doesn't happen. It does happen, but we know it does. And those factors, those environmental factors, as they're called, they play as big of a role in high school football as they do in any other aspect of football at any other level. And it's definitely going to be a factor in the game on Friday night. Yeah, that's one. When I saw the schedule, I kind of went, okay, Marmion, that's interesting. When I got my cheat sheet from you for the week and I saw they were 1-1 only, I kind of went, ooh, that is not fun for Jaws and his staff trying to get ready for that one.
No, not at all. So, again, that's another interesting game. As I mentioned, we're going to have Rob Zvonar around 6:45. And Evan, I want to ask Rob a couple of very simple questions. Number one, there seems to be a differing of opinions on who the number one team is in Chicagoland and in 8A. Some, including myself, which I'm sure is just thrills the Lincoln Way East community. I have Loyola as the number one team. Some others, including Associated Press, has Lincoln Way East, the IHSA coaches poll, the interesting polls in some classes, to say the least. We can get into that if you want. 815-254-7300. They have Lincoln Way East as the number one team in 8A. So I'm going to ask Rob Zvonar, why should they be considered the top team in Chicagoland and in Class 8A? Now, knowing Rob, like I think I do,
well,
I won't get an answer.
We really don't think about those things.
I won't get an answer, but I would like to know from the East fans. And again, I have been pretty clear on the subject. I have mentioned the fact that I think Loyola has played a much more difficult schedule this year. And as many of you know, and like it or not, I go by the eyeball test. And I've seen Loyola, and I've seen Lincoln Way East, and I've seen probably most of the top 10, top 15 teams this year. I just think Loyola is that team until otherwise proven. Now, it gets interesting this weekend because Loyola travels to Marist. Evan, who did Loyola lose to twice in 2019?
Marist.
See, can't get anything past you. That's a very difficult game for Loyola. So I that could change the tide. Your thoughts on Lincoln Way East?
My thing is this, and I'm going to try to be as diplomatic as possible when it comes to these coaches polls.
Yep.
We were talking about environmental factors with the Joliet Catholic Marmion game and how it can influence high school athletes and how they perform on the field.
Yes, sir.
Personal opinions, and maybe even I'll use the word personal grudges, I feel play way too much of a role in that poll. I feel that the rules have been a little too fast and a little too loose with that poll. And I feel that sometimes teams are given certain positioning, maybe not based on their skill level, but based on whether location, whether or not they're public or private, whether or not they have a tradition of being successful or not. I feel those things play a factor, and I don't think they should play a factor in a poll like that, but I feel like they have in the past. And I'll be honest with you, I don't put too much stock into it because I don't know what the legitimate biases are of the people voting in those polls.
Yeah, it's fair. Kenny, you want to talk about it? 815-254-7300. We'll have open phones here for a few minutes. Again, as I mentioned, the broadcast schedule, 6:05 Friday Night Lights?
Yes.
6:05 Friday Night Lights with Evan. Then, of course, our game of the week is Providence hosting Montini. That is a 7:30 kickoff out at Bishop Caffer Stadium. And again, looking forward to putting the Spring football season behind us. Evan, I know at this time last week we talked about the potential of scheduling becoming a possible nightmare this week. I am very happy to report those reports have kind of were a little bit exaggerated. Hasn't been as bad as I thought.
That's good.
Our friends at Lincoln Way Central finally found a game. They found a good game. They're playing Evanston. Very good team up north. They were they've actually played before. They played a couple years ago in the playoffs, I think. I'm almost certain they did. I'm almost certain Lincoln Way Central might have played Evanston in the playoffs. I think there's a history there. But again, last minute, I think a really good opponent to line up in this scenario. So second week in a row, Jeremy Cordell and his coaches get a couple of day notice to break down an opponent to get ready for. So that is no easy task, but believe me, Jeremy and everyone at Lincoln Way Central, boy, they were out there working at trying to find a game. And fortunately, they were able to get one.
I have that Evanston ended up playing Lincoln Way West actually in 2019.
Okay, I was in the neighborhood.
They've played in the district.
They played in the district,
but
they will be. I believe they are coming here.
They're coming out here.
That's going to be.
Yeah, I think they're going to be leaving actually tomorrow.
Pretty soon
to try to get out of here. That's when it's a great matchup. But that's another one we've seen. You go, ooh, that is a haul for those kids.
We have some teams that unfortunately or by choice are done for the year. Coal City, Wilmington, Piatone, their conference decided they were only playing a 5-game season this year.
Is there a thought process behind that?
Baseball.
Yeah.
Spring sports. Sense. Yep. Yeah, that's, they wanted to get going right away. So they decided on 5 games and everyone was fine with it that I talked to. So that's the reason why. So again, Coal City finished 4-1, Wilmington 5-0, Piatone 3-2. So really all 3 pretty successful seasons. I know Coach Tully's probably not going to talk to us ever again because he was 3-0, and then we talked to him and promised we take him and his kids out for ice cream if they won. And
I think his kids are going to be more upset at you than anything else.
I'm going to have to talk to Coach Joe. If Coach Joe ever comes back, are we going to offer a reward for Coach Joe? Missing information.
I'm going to put him on a milk carton.
Maybe.
And start circulating around stadiums.
But they're like clear plastic now. You can't.
I can
the
find
smaller
an old
ones.
School milk carton.
Okay.
I can scrounge something up.
Okay. We'll have to do something to locate our friend.
I'll get shirts made. Missing.
So Coal City's done. Wilmington's done. Piatone's done. Plainfield South, Evan, unfortunately done. They were done in by the COVID restrictions and a pause, and they will not be able to play week 6. So they finished. Unfortunately, a good season, 3-1. Had a couple of games that I thought they could have gotten here if they would have been able to play out the schedule, but just kind of worked out that way. As we talked about, that was COVID-wise. And then Romeoville. Romeoville ended up finding a game. They are going to play York. Again, York, very solid team out of the West Suburban Silver. They are 3-2. So, Evan, that is going to be a challenge for the Spartans. But you know what? So what? They found a game. They got a good opponent. Those kids and Coach Travato is going to be able to finish on the field Friday night.
I mean, I think you'll ask them after the game whether the result is positive or negative. Would you have rather stayed home tonight? And I'm pretty sure we all know what the answer is going to be.
Yep.
And as you said, when all of this started back in week 1, week 2, if you can find a game, don't worry about who the opponent is. Just book the game because odds are you're going to have a difficult time finding someone. And we've learned that schools have adopted that philosophy kind of in the second half of this shortened season. In the first half, I'm sure you're aware of some stories. I've heard of some as well. Some of them were even shared on your message board of schools reaching out and going, oh, well, they're really good, so I don't know if maybe we should play them. And scrambling to try to find someone of a more equal skill set.
Playing the game.
And then eventually it just became enough of the scheduling shenanigans where we can't do that with this shortened season with the restrictions. You can find an opponent, book it, and play the game.
Yeah. Again, a lot has been learned in some good ways and some bad ways because of this truncated season. And we talked about relationships and I hope that some new relationships were built from this and maybe that'll carry forward in the fall and beyond.
That's my hope, honestly, because and we've talked about this before with schools, athletic directors and scheduling and the IHSA or whoever the governing body is going to be moving forward or whatever that situation is going to look like with the state of Illinois now somewhat tangibly involved. They don't want any part of scheduling. And we know that we tried to get around the scheduling issue with districts. There was overwhelming pushback after that got approved, and that was then kind of rescinded.
Although districts would have been very interesting during the COVID era.
They would have been extremely interesting during the COVID era.
It's interesting how that all shook out
But
and worked out.
I think we know that there are teams that, listen, it was the chase to 6 wins, and if you couldn't get 6, the chase for playoff points.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that with this new spirit of cooperation and scheduling, like you said, new relationships being formed, that maybe there will be more chances taken by teams. Maybe we'll see better non-conference matchups. We won't have those first 2 weeks be kind of well, we've got a marquee game here and a marquee game there, but the rest.
We need a good one, and then we need a tough game, and then we need an easy game, and then we can get into our conference schedule.
We need to balance it out. I'm hoping this new spirit of cooperation leads.
We're hoping we can get a second home game for that non-conference game. We really don't want to play on the road. We really want to stay at home.
Which was all code for other things.
Code for we don't want to play them because they're kind of good and they might beat us, and that doesn't look good for us. Whatever.
We don't know how many wins we'll get and how that affects our playoff seeding. And these are the things that happen. And I'm hoping that this, again, these new relationships, this new scheduling that we saw with this shortened season, especially on such short notice, breeds some different matchups in our area moving forward.
We certainly hope so. All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, we will go out to the phone lines. The head coach of Providence Catholic, Mark Coglianese, will join us. We will talk about his game of the week on Friday night as Cogs and the Celtics will host Montini. You are listening to the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
Hey, football fans, score big when you order award-winning amazing pizza from Pizza Mia. Find out why customers continuously come back for that one-of-a-kind pizza and amazing chicken. Whether it's their famous thin-crust pizza or barbecue ribs, you're sure to be satisfied. Planning a family gathering or event? Pizza Mia has a full catering menu to choose from. Check out one of their locations in New Lenox and Homer Glen. You can see their full menu, and to order online, visit pizzamiaonline.com. That's pizzamiaonline.com.
It's a high school football season unlike any other we've experienced. The cold, crisp autumn nights have given way to the unpredictable spring weather here in the Joliet area. But regardless of when high school football is played here in Will County, we know that the passion, the hunger, and the excitement is there. Through COVID, through the lockdown, through remote learning, the wait is over. High school football is back.
And this Friday night, we will be in New Lenox for Providence Catholic versus Montini. Hear it live on WJOL, WJOL.com, and on your smart speaker.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
High school football on on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the week 6 edition. Boy, it's been a long day. A Pigskin preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Edgy Tim, along with not the coach, Evan Bredesen, joining us behind the scenes, spinning the dials, answering the phones, and out in front of the camera. The young man literally can do it all. And we are going to go out to the phone lines. Our game of the week, Friday evening, 7:30 kickoff. Providence hosting Montini, certainly a familiar foe and certainly a familiar name. Mark Coglianese joining us on the phone. Cogs, appreciate you taking some time to join us.
Hey, my pleasure. I appreciate you having me on again.
A little strange this morning to pull into the parking lot and look out on the field and see snow on the field.
Yeah. It's been everything's a little bit strange all year, but yeah, what a way to finish up the season here.
Yeah,
cold practices.
You think we'd be used to this by now, living here all our lives, but we're not at all. I just shook my head this morning when I saw. I was like, "You got to be kidding me." You're going to finish off with a really good game and a good team, and I've got to imagine. I mean, I think your kids are excited to play every time they get a chance to go out there, but the fact that you're getting to host Montini at home in the final game of the season, does it have that kind of end of the year excitement? And, are the seniors, is it starting to hit them? And, are you doing kind of maybe your traditional things you would do that last week of the season? How have you handled it this week?
Well, yeah, you're right in that, there's a lot at stake. And I think for us, finishing the season 4-2 would be obviously much better than 3-3. Our kids, we're kind of on a roll a little bit. Our kids are excited. We've been playing well lately. Defense has kind of been outstanding all year, all season, but the offense is starting to come around, and we hope to finish on a high note.
As far as Montini, and again, I had a chance to see them early. I saw them when they played Mount Carmel, and obviously they did not get off to a good start, but it seems like they've kind of righted the ship here a little bit. What are you seeing from the Broncos? And, I know that Coach Boo had been, I think there were a couple of different quarterbacks playing, and I think like everyone else, he's had some different kids in and out of the lineup. I know they had some, like everyone else, that had some injury problems and what have you. Kind of what do they kind of have to offer? What can the fans tomorrow night kind of expect out of Montini? Business as usual, or maybe a little bit different this year?
Well, I think pretty much business as usual. I mean, you're right. We've seen some different quarterbacks. So kind of rotating the two. But they're always going to have good skills. And, they've got good receivers, good running backs. But I think their biggest strength, or what, is going to cause us the most difficulty, is their line. Their offensive line, and probably defense as well. But they're very big. They're big. They're strong. So that's going to, definitely be a challenge for us. But, like you said, they're Montini, and now they're a Catholic League team, and so it's a Catholic League game. And, I think we both have the same record right now, so we both want to obviously finish strong. And there's an outside chance of a conference championship. If Notre Dame knocks off St. Rita, then I think we'd all kind of be in there with one loss in the conference. So that's kind of on the line as well.
Coach, you're approaching the end of this season, and then it'll be time to get ready for next fall, but we still don't have a lot of details about what the season is going to look like next year, when things can start, when you can start working with the kids. How difficult is it to be ending this season in the spring, turning around, trying to get ready for next season, and not really knowing yet what kind of timetable you're going to have to get ready?
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of strange when you talk to the team and, we say, hey, season's over, but it's starting up again, and I got these seniors that are done, so I really don't want to talk much about next year and things we got to do, in front of the seniors, because that's not their concern, and we're concerned about this last game. So, yeah, there's that, and what are we going to do in the summer? When are we going to start? I know IHSA said we can have 20 practices, but I don't want to rush into it. I know coaches are going to need a little time away, and kids as well. Need to get away a little bit, get away from the game. Although, we do need to get stronger. So even though we're away from the game, but hopefully over these next 8 weeks or whatever it is till summer comes, I encourage the kids to get in the weight room. I'll be coaching track, encouraging our skill guys to come out and run track and try and get faster because next year is right around the corner.
Oh, so no 2-3 week break before you ease into track, huh? Going right at it right away.
Yeah, track's already going. I kind of watch from a distance. I've got a couple good assistant coaches that are kind of running the show right now, and they even have a track meet tomorrow at St. Rita. But I'm looking forward to finishing up our football season here.
Here's something I'm going to throw at you, and I've kind of wondered this and wonder what your take is on this as well. Are we going to possibly see more veteran coaches maybe step down after a season like this? I mean, because let's face it, Cogs, in some cases it's been crazy. I think of Joliet Catholic's opponent Marmion and what they've put up with, and they're going to end up playing just 3 games this year, and and you see a lot of older coaches have been in this. I mean, do you get any kind of feel for that at all? Do you think that maybe, because let's face it, I mean, you guys always have a lot of stress, but a year like this just has to add on to that.
Yes, you are 100% correct. I really haven't talked to coaches about that, but I can definitely see that being the case. I mean, being a head coach is stressful enough. It's not just the X's and O's, it's all the other things that you have to deal with. And this year just added so much to it. And like I say, yeah, I agree. I see a lot of, and the other thing, I guess it is kind of late right now that coaches really, I'd say that they can't, they could, but it's pretty tough if a coach were to step down after this spring season. That doesn't give the school, the AD, much time to get things going again. But yeah, I could see a lot of veteran coaches, considering that. It's been a very stressful year.
What's it been like, Coach? You mentioned you're in track and field, and we've got, here at WJOL, our baseball tournament going on, which Providence is a part of. How difficult has it been kind of balancing football practice, football games, and everything that goes to being a football player at Providence with athletes who have, are part of the baseball team or are part of the track and field team? How have you guys been able to find a balance pretty well with the other coaches working together, trying to make sure that equal time is split among all the different sports, or how has that worked, kind of balancing all the different sports going on simultaneously?
You're right with those sports. Obviously baseball, obviously track, and we also have lacrosse going on, and even boys volleyball started this week. So, but a positive here at Providence is, most coaches, we communicate, we get along. Coach Smith has been great about it. He says finish your football season before you come out for baseball. Even the lower level kids. He said he didn't want to see the freshmen finish football. There'll be plenty of time for baseball. Me being a head track coach, obviously, I'm telling our guys the same thing. Track will be there. Let's finish this season. And, for the most part, same thing with lacrosse. They'll practice, and a few of our lacrosse guys that play football might go to lacrosse practice after football practice. But, I think, the season that you're in right now should be the priority, and that's pretty much the case. And, knock on wood, it's gone okay so far.
Cogs, how many seniors are going to play the last game Friday night?
I think we only have about 17.
Okay.
So, but yeah, you mentioned the seniors. It's a great group, and we have outstanding captains. Jamison Gears, about him, Kevin Conway, and Andy Degner. I mean, those 3 guys, they've just been warriors for us. Playing both sides of the ball, and I can't say enough. We know Jamison, the type of player he is. I mean, he's just kind of been a man among boys out there, but Kevin Conway to play quarterback and then go ahead and play free safety for us all year. That's something we've never done. Had a guy play. Very rarely do we have guys go both ways, but have a quarterback also play defense. And he did it for the team. And he did it. A little bit for himself because he wants to prove, maybe to some college coaches that he can do a lot of different things, and he can. So, guys like that have stepped up and done a lot for the team. And on the other side of the coin, we've been able to get a lot of juniors and even some sophomores playing time on varsity. So, looking at next year, that's, something we wanted to hopefully do a little bit, and we've been able to do a little bit of that. So that maybe will help us in the long run.
All right. Well, again, if you want to hear that game, you can hear it right here on 1340 WJOL. Providence in the final game of the spring season, they will be at home at Bishop Caffer Stadium. They will be hosting Montini Catholic as the Broncos come to town. That is a 7:30 kickoff. Cogs is always appreciated, and boy, I'm hoping you have a short but great summer eventually and get away for a little bit. And
Yes,
looking forward to hopefully having some sense of normalcy starting in the fall.
that would be nice. And thanks again, guys. You guys do a great job.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Cogs. Mark Coglianese is joining us from Providence Catholic. And Evan, yeah, it's you mentioned those seniors, and what I think about the seniors at Providence, I think of kids like Kevin Conway, who's been a multi-year starter, and Jamison Gears has been there for a long time, and you have those kids that are just kind of cornerstones of those programs, and it's going to be an interesting balance for Providence because, as we mentioned, I mean, those are some big names they're going to have to replace for the fall. But I think the positive of this has been as well, you're going to see some younger guys getting a lot of playing time, and I think that's just going to benefit them in the fall.
Reps. I mean, reps matter, and coaches will tell you that's the one thing you can't simulate in the off season, even during camp. You cannot simulate live reps and what it is to play high school football at the highest level, or the varsity level here in the state of Illinois, and understand truly how fast and physical the game is. Now these kids have a little bit of an idea of that. As Cog said, they're going into the off season now. They'll know what they'll have to work on. I need to beef up. I need to get faster. I need to work on this specific route as a receiver, or this blocking technique as a right tackle. They now know what they have to work on, as opposed to trying to maybe guess what they might have to work on going into the next season. They'll be able to do that going into the fall camp and getting ready for the fall season next year. And so those live reps, that is the one thing that I think helps is, listen, ask any college football coach in Division I, and you've talked to many of them, Edgy, how important those spring practices are for them to be able to get ready for the fall. This was essentially an elongated spring practice. And as a result, you got to see, do, and teach your players things that they normally wouldn't know. Every team that was able to play and practice for a full 6 weeks, they now have a leg up on everyone, because you now have things installed, ready to go, that you no longer have to work on when the fall comes around. You can jump right into the deep end of the pool.
And I'm glad you mentioned the length of the season. And to this day, I'm still hearing from coaches and people talking about, we should have had a postseason. We should have had this. I'm gonna tell you right now, we would have been lucky if we were able to limp to week 9, the way things have gone, between the contact tracing, between the injuries, between the just scattering schedule of what's been going on. We would have never made it through 14 weeks. Seriously, that we would have had eventually. It would have either you would have had to have shut this season down early, or it was going to be some ugly football.
I'll take it one step further with what had happened in week 4 and week 5. If this was a full 9-week season, do not think that like last week, week 5, when we had all those cancellations, you talked about it, a team pulling out of their parking lot and they get a call while they're on the bus. Hey, game's off due to COVID. That would have been the halfway point in a 9-week season. The conversations would have started then about, are we going to make it to the end? I think the reason we're making it to the end is because it was literally, we've got one more week to go.
Let's just get through it
and then get on to the other side. If this was a full 9-week season, I guarantee you there'd be conversations going on right now, or you'd be telling me about conversations that were had about possibly pulling the plug. And I guarantee you more schools would have pulled the plug and just said, you know what, we're not risking our student athletes anymore.
No, I totally agree. I totally agree. And you can argue with me on that fact if you think, and again, it's not the same with everyone. There are going to be teams that are getting better as we get along here, and they should be. If your core's together and you're working and you're practicing, you're going after it, there are teams that are going to get better. But I'll give you an example before we go to break. Montini. Saw Montini in week one or week 2. It was against Mount Carmel. It might have been one. And lost. It was a tight game. I thought Montini played really well. And then, I don't know, the wheels just kind of came off. Well, then you find out there's an injury here, an injury there, something happened here. So, Providence fans, I would love to tell you exactly what's coming to town. I have no idea. That's just kind of the lay of the land. I mean, you want another example? O'Fallon beats East St. Louis. They go to Edwardsville. Now, granted, double overtime. Edwardsville beats O'Fallon. So, I mean, it's just one of those years that in this strange COVID season, it's really hard unless, that teams have changed from week to week, and in most cases, not for the better.
I mean, Edgy, we've heard from coaches where literally they spent all week preparing for, a spread up-tempo offense with an athletic quarterback who is a runner.
And then they get Prairie Ridge on the schedule in 2 days.
And then they either get Prairie Ridge on the schedule in 2 days, or they get there and they find out, that kid's out because of contact tracing, or that kid's out because of an injury thing, or that kid's out because he had another commitment with another sport. So instead, we're going to play our pro-style thrower, and our offense is entirely different. You're going, well, what did we prepare a week for then?
By the way, before we take a break here, McChesney Park, Harlem High School, where I went Saturday to cover a game. The Rockford Speedway is like literally right behind the football field.
Is it really?
And they had a race going on.
Oh, that had to be fun.
I was like, I shouted out to my guy, Mike Googs, because that would have been like the ultimate, because there literally you could hear him racing behind you as the football game. And it turned out to be a great game, by the way.
Was
Harlem won on a 2-point conversion with no time left.
Was it a distraction though?
No, it was just, at first it was really cool. By the fourth quarter, it started getting a little annoying, but it was just a neat dynamic. I just didn't expect at all. But yeah, literally, you couldn't see it, but you could literally hear the races going on right behind the high school field. So it was cool.
So that's one that goes on the list of interesting venues with an odd setting.
Chesney Park, Harlem High School in the Rockford area, right behind Rockford Speedway. So, all right, step it aside, take a break. When we come back, we will go out to the phones. Rob Zvonar from Lincoln Way East will join us. This is the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
This spring, stop, shop, and grow with Woldheist Farms Sunrise Greenhouse in Grant Park. At Woldheist Farms Sunrise Greenhouse, you'll find over 11 acres of homegrown goodness, featuring an unmatched selection of annuals, perennials, hanging baskets, vegetable plants, herbs, trees, shrubs, and roses. You'll find everything you need and more. It's an experience you have to see to believe. At Sunrise Greenhouse, you'll find knowledgeable and friendly plant experts that will help you choose the perfect plants for your garden. And nearly everything is under one roof, so you can shop rain or shine. Sign up for their email newsletter and check out their current sales online at woldheistfarms.com. You can also follow them on Facebook and Instagram, too. Family owned since 1960, Woldheist Farms Sunrise Greenhouse is located at 10300 East 9000 North Road in Grant Park, just 8 miles east of Route 50 in Manteno. Woldheist Farms Sunrise Greenhouse, growing quality plants to the glory of the Creator since 1960.
If there's a sudden disaster and you can't get to the grocery store, or they're all out of food, what would you do? You'll wish you had emergency food to get you through the crisis. And that's why we're here. We're MyPatriotSupply.com, America's leading source of emergency food. Our food lasts for up to 25 years, and millions of families trust us for their disaster survival. Won't you join us? Unlike other food companies, we don't skimp on calories. Our meals give you more than 2,000 calories per day. Why? Because that's what you need to survive any challenging crisis. And right now, you can save $200 on our popular 3-month emergency food kit. Just go to MyPatriotSupply.com and place your order. We ship fast, 2 to 3 days max, and your food arrives discreetly right to your door. So order today and save $200 at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
Life is full of surprises, some good, some not so good. That's why State Farm agent John Wright is here with good neighbor service and great rates for everyone. Yep, that's right. State Farm agent John Wright can give you great rates and great service. That's why he was one of a few selected as the best insurance agents in Will County by the Reader's Choice again in 2020. When you want the real deal, call John Wright in Joliet today.
Save today on your next project with 11% off everything. Now at Menards. Menards has a great selection of Suncast storage units. They're ideal for storing all of your outdoor equipment, whether small or large. Right now, get 11% off all Suncast storage units. Save with 11% off everything. Now at Menards. Good through Saturday, April 24th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards. Receive a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. With COVID continuing to spread, nothing matters more than having an accurate thermometer that's backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies, like the Exergen temporal scanner. Even after getting the COVID vaccine, you should be monitoring for fever to make sure you are protected. Keep your family and yourself safe by trading up your non-contact thermometer for an accurate temporal scanner and a $5 rebate from Exergen, where accuracy matters. Details at Exergen.com.
Take control of your money. Start by listening to The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you invest $100 a month from age 25 to age 65 or age 30 to age 70 in a decent growth stock mutual fund, you'd have $1,176,000. $100 a month and you're a millionaire. If I'm half wrong, you're still okay. You got $500,000. Don't call me when you're 65. Bro.
He's back. Dave Ramsey on WJOL. Weeknights at 6. High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back to the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with Evan Bredesen with you for the next hour plus, and we will continue to talk IHSA football in the WJOL listening area. And as always, very excited, happy to bring in our friend Rob Zvonar. He is the head man in charge at Lincoln Way East High School. Big game, obviously, for the Griffins Friday night. They will hop in the yellow bus and the yellow rocket and just a short little drive down the road a little bit to take on Lincoln Way West. That is a 7:30 kickoff. And Rob, first of all, I appreciate you taking time to join us. And well, you got into this point. You're 5-0 with one more to play, and I got to figure it's nice to get a district rival in there, especially a district rival that is also 5-0.
Well, first of all, we prefer to call them socially distanced yellow limousines. So let's get that straight first. No, Ed, thanks for having me as always. Appreciate you. And we're excited. A lot to play for, and anybody that calls this spring exhibition or just for fun or whatever, I wasn't out there doing it the right way, because it's been as different, no doubt, and certainly some things a little off kilter here and there, but no doubt the same is football, and we prepared the same, and the kids are just as excited. Very highly respected Lincoln Way West program, whether it's Dave Ernst or whether it was Mark Vanderkoy before that, and certainly now Luke Lokanc is certainly one of my favorite human beings in the world, let alone football coaches. His brother is a longtime coach on our staff, so there's some family fun and rivalry to it, but we compete like heck between the lines, but 364 days a year, I root for that program 100%. So yeah, a lot of fun, 5-0, and for us, the story is 47 seniors making the trip Friday night, and for everything they've been through. I think we had one kid who started a work program who couldn't stay with us this spring, and maybe one other kid who left the program, but we got 47 seniors taking
amazing.
Buses over there Friday, and that's just a testament to these young men and their perseverance and their love of the game, and we're so appreciative of that.
So the last time I checked, you're only allowed to start 11 on each side of the ball. So how in the world do you and your coaches keep 47 seniors involved and to stick with it all the way through? How does that happen?
Well, it's a tribute to those men and their character that maybe they want to be a part of something and they feel good about being a part of it and they enjoy being together. And you hit it right off the head. You said coaches. It's not me. I'm sure they'd love to get away from me most of the time, but I have a staff that just has a genuine love, care, and concern for young men and a love for football. And I think it's the position coaches and their camaraderie. And there's a lot of different reasons, but we're very blessed. Obviously, it's been a privilege and an honor to be with this group, and it's a little bittersweet. We would have loved to have seen what we could have done in a regular fall season. You don't get an opportunity very often to defend a title, and I guess going into the fall, we still have that opportunity. But been some special things that have happened out our way the last few years, and we don't take it for granted. We don't take winning for granted. We show our respect and our for all our opponents by just continuing to prepare very hard and diligent, and we don't go into any game thinking anything, but we've got to play our best to come out with a win, and that's going to hold true for this Friday in New Lenox.
I know that Pat Disabato in the Southtown had a nice story about Max Tomczak, and he's another kid that you look at those seniors and what he's been able to contribute. And, you know, there's a kid that I truly think if we would have had a quote unquote normal spring and a normal summer last year, that I think his college options would have increased greatly because he's such a terrific player. I know. I'm sorry, Coach.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. I could talk about the Tomczak family for a long time.
Yeah, I know.
It goes back. Ron was with our program before he unfortunately passed away, and the article was great. I saw it just a little bit ago, and I'm fairly close with Max. Actually has two uncles, and everyone knows about Mike. I have to give a shout out to his other uncle, Ron.
Yeah, Ron Jr.
For Ron Jr. Yeah, and obviously then his dad Steve, and they are certainly one of the top football families in the country, let alone being one of the first families of football at Lincoln Way. So just grateful to know him, and it was a nice shout out to Max, no doubt about it. But when you talked about recruiting, that's another place where these kids got the short end of the stick, and it was a double whammy as well. Every other state played in the fall. College coaches have to pay their rent, support their family. They got to recruit the kids they watch play. Then you turn around and the NCAA doesn't make these kids, current seniors, use a year of eligibility. So got sponsors squeeze even tighter. So just a lot to feel bad about for these kids, and that's why it's you take so much joy in the fact that at least we got out there 6 times this spring and did what we do.
Big part of this season, beside getting those seniors in and getting playing time and be able to put tape together, is you getting a little taste of some of the underclass and what some of those kids are able to possibly do for you. Certainly this spring is probably more importantly into the fall. Give us a handful of names that have maybe stepped up and separated themselves, those underclassmen so far this year.
Yeah, sure. You know, and we certainly wanted to devote the playing time in the games and as much spotlight on the seniors as we could. But then you do some things in practice, and you got a way to kind of work with those younger groups because it's a short turnaround, right? So you don't have the December, January, February off season. You know, we're going to be right back at it in a short time. So you do kind of need to know what's coming up the ranks. And we've been very blessed. Our freshman and sophomore teams are undefeated, and our sophomore group seems to be a pretty special group, and they would come out and help us out in practice a little bit here and there. And we've had some really, really talented juniors step up. I think we've got some Division I juniors. Jake Sienna actually is only a sophomore, and that's a household name through the years in football on the South Side. The dad, Randy, at HF, and the 2 brothers that played for us. But Jake Sienna is going to come in and take right over at the Mike linebacker position as a junior in the fall. And on a lot of teams, he would have started this year as a sophomore. We've had some other excellent people step up in the secondary. I got a kid by the name of John Gooch. You're going to hear an awful lot about John. He's a 6'3" leaper and can cover just about anybody. And we were blessed to have a very talented senior corner, so he wasn't in the first group, but he certainly could have been. The list continues with Alex Naparick on the offensive line. The wide receiver crew, we have Jamal Johnson's brother, Trey. We have Jack Tremblay's had a tremendous season, and then Brennan Stoleric at quarterback. So, we're still not moved on because we're going to get every ounce of this season out of and spend with our seniors. But when it is time to turn that page, we feel okay about moving forward.
The one thing I wanted to ask,
defensive line, I should have mentioned Mike Cardilli there as well. I always hate Matt Kingsbury, his sophomore, Ben's brother. I hate Will Rivetto back at linebacker. I hate mispicking names because I always forget.
No, hey, you're totally fine. You get out anyone's name you need to get out for sure. You mentioned going in.
Safety. Sorry.
Well, you mentioned going into the season in the fall. We still don't know what's going to happen. Am I the only one a little perturbed by that? As of right now, we have no idea when things are going to start.
Hold on to the fact that it's going to be business as usual, and I don't mean business as usual the last 13 months. I mean business as usual the last 27 years of my career.
Yep.
I don't know if we can handle another Well, we'll do it if we have to, obviously, but I don't know if COVID protocols and all these things it's going to be really hard to do that again, especially if the state and the country continues to move forward and vaccinate. You'd hopefully that phase 5 comes sooner than later, and hopefully even by June camps we're in phase 5. So that's what I'm holding on to. If we've got to deal with these continued protocols, we'll do what we have to do to play football, but it's time to be normal again, so to speak.
Boy, I hope so. I hear you. Rob, appreciate it. Good luck Friday night, and enjoy what little break you do get after the season. And again, just the best of luck, and we'll be in touch soon. Appreciate it.
All right, man. It means a lot. Always love talking to you, and you were one of the things that kept this thing going through the adversity. So hats off to you, sir.
All right, bud. We appreciate it. All right, Rob Zvonar joining us, and again, appreciate that. And yeah, it's been a wild 6 weeks, and I think we're all looking forward to wrapping it up, Evan, and then we'll see what happens from there.
I'm curious how many more gray hairs or fewer hairs some of these coaches in our area have
over the last year,
result of the season. Because I thought you actually asked Mark Coglianese from Providence an interesting question, and it's one I guess I hadn't even really thought of, but it should be thought of, which is with coaches who may be somewhat older after the stress of this year,
they're not going to want to put up with it.
Do you maybe say, I can't do it anymore? Yeah. Or does the quick turnaround simply make it impossible for an older coach to say, hey, listen, I can't do a spring season, then a summer camp, and then get ready for a fall season. I just simply can't do that anymore.
And what Rob was alluding to, and I've heard the same thing from other coaches, especially under the current protocol, there's no way. There's no way a lot of these guys can see it happening. Just contact tracing alone, how far do you think we'd get in the fall? About 3 weeks? And then everyone would end up getting shut down. So, all right, hey, hour 1 in the books. We'll be back. I feel a sense in the force, Evan. Call me crazy. You can call me edgy, but call me crazy. I feel there's a sense in the force. I can feel it. So we'll come on back. Hour number 2. Special guest joining us, and we will go back out to the phone lines and continue to break down Week 6, the final week of the spring football season. This is Pigskin Preview on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
Better sleep means a better you. That's why Mattress Firm came up with the Rest Assured Promise, featuring the best mattresses from America's best mattress brands. Like the Temper Breeze collection, available now, with a $300 instant gift good towards your choice of sleep accessories. Visit with our sleep experts in-store, online, or by phone to find the right bed for you. Only at Mattress Firm, America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with a booming voice that emphasizes all the main points. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
That part is super important.
Here's one with a booming voice.
I'm emphasizing everything.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance.
Like a page with every word highlighted.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Liberty, 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 liberty.
Amita Health lung disease specialists embrace the whole you, body, mind, and spirit when planning the best treatment approach to help you breathe easier. We call it whole care. We diagnose and treat all respiratory conditions from asthma and COPD to pulmonary nodules using leading-edge, minimally invasive procedures. Visit amitahealth.org/breathe. Amita Health, in sickness and in health.
There's a lot to look forward to. Growing your family, opening your own business, retiring to travel, leaving your legacy. Busey Bank knows there's a lot of planning along the way. Busey is here to help you celebrate your life's milestones by putting your money to work with thoughtful advice, trusted resources, and proven results. Busey's right beside you. Learn more at busey.com. Member FDIC.
From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. The status of widespread federally mandated police reform after the Chauvin trial conviction comes down to lawsuits.
The House passed the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act last month, but it's yet to be taken up by the Senate. The bill seeks to take steps to hold police accountable and end racial profiling with policies like a national police misconduct registry. It would ban chokeholds and no-knock warrants in drug cases at the federal level and would eliminate so-called qualified immunity, which shields law enforcement officials from most civil lawsuits. That's a sticking point with Republicans, and the bill would need 60 votes to pass the Senate. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
The Justice Department opening a sweeping investigation into policing practices in Minneapolis after the guilty verdict in George Floyd's death, says Attorney General Merrick Garland. Amid a state investigation of yesterday's police shooting that killed a 16-year-old girl, Columbus, Ohio Interim Police Chief Michael Woods becoming emotional during a news conference.
I'm a father. Her family is grieving, regardless of the circumstances associated with this. A 16-year-old girl lost her life yesterday. I sure as hell wish it hadn't happened.
Police releasing body cam footage of the shooting. They say cops were responding to a call about somebody trying to stab someone. A crowd has gathered on Ohio State University's campus to demand justice. A new analysis finds that Moderna and Pfizer's COVID vaccines are likely safe for pregnant women and newborns. The CDC says check with your doctor. The Biden administration surpassing another COVID promise earlier than planned of 200 million vaccinations during the president's first 100 days in office. President Biden warning.
If we let up now and stop being vigilant, this virus will erase the progress we've already achieved.
President announcing employer tax credits and other steps to encourage people reluctant to get their shots. You're listening to ABC News.
Attention timeshare owners. Getting out of your timeshare can feel like a battle. All you want is to save some money, reduce your stress, and stop paying for something you aren't even using. But the process can be daunting, frustrating, and confusing. But it doesn't have to be. With Newton Group, you get access to an exclusive secret weapon to get out of your timeshare. This secret weapon is something only Newton Group offers and was developed to help timeshare owners just like you save thousands of dollars and regain control of their finances. And this secret weapon is a key part of why we have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, 4.7 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and a proven track record to legally relieve you from the financial burden of your timeshare. If you want out of your timeshare, visit besttimeshareexit.com to learn more about this exclusive secret weapon to get out of your timeshare. Go to besttimeshareexit.com or call 877-TOP-EXIT. That's besttimeshareexit.com to get you out of your timeshare. Go to besttimeshareexit.com now or call 877-TOP-EXIT.
A St. Louis couple facing charges for waving guns at racial injustice protesters last summer is asking a judge to send their case back to the grand jury, citing bias concerns about Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner. Family, friends, and colleagues holding a celebration of life in D.C. for Congressman Alcee Hastings, who died 2 weeks ago at 84 in his 15th term in Congress.
Many of you, Alcee, fondly considered part of his tribe. Know that Alcee would not want today to be full of remembrances of sadness.
Among the speakers, Chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, Joyce Beatty. Prosecutors in New York dismissing thousands of cases filed under an old statute.
Prosecuting prostitution, Manhattan District Attorney Cy Vance said, does not make us safer. In court, he moved to dismiss thousands of cases that charged loitering for the purpose of prostitution, a statute the state eliminated because it disproportionately targeted transgender people. The DA called it a relic of a different era. He also moved to dismiss more than 900 prostitution and unlicensed massage cases as part of a new policy to decline to prosecute those crimes that he said marginalized the vulnerable. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
SpaceX won't launch its next astronauts from Earth on Earth Day, specifically Florida's Cape Canaveral, because of dangerously high waves and winds offshore. Postponed to Friday. This is ABC News.
Carl was more than $10,000 in credit card debt. Disaster was coming.
Well, it was pretty bad. It was coming to the end. I was getting desperate.
He called Total Financial Freedom. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've helped thousands of people reduce all types of debt to a fraction of what they owed. Call 800-533-6605 to see if you qualify. Call in the next 10 minutes to receive a free book written by the CEO, The Debt Dietitian, The Way to a Healthy Financial Future. Call 800-533-6605.
Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Tired of video chatting at home? The highly trained technicians at your neighborhood Chicagoland Jiffy Lube will help keep you and your vehicle moving, so you can connect from pretty much anywhere. Go to ChicagolandJiffyLube.com for locations in Chicagoland, including Rockford, Northwest Indiana, and Southeast Wisconsin. ChicagolandJiffyLube.com. Anywhere is possible with Jiffy Lube.
Life is full of surprises, some good, some not so good. That's why State Farm agent John Wright is here with good neighbor service and great rates for everyone. Yep, that's right. State Farm agent John Wright can give you great rates and great service. That's why he was one of a few selected as the best insurance agents in Will County by the Reader's Choice again in 2020. When you want the real deal, call John Wright in Joliet today.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
Hey, football fans, score big when you order award-winning amazing pizza from Pizza Mia. Find out why customers continuously come back for that one-of-a-kind pizza and amazing chicken. Whether it's their famous thin-crust pizza or barbecue ribs, you're sure to be satisfied. Planning a family gathering or event? Pizza Mia has a full catering menu to choose from. Check out one of their locations in New Lenox and Homer Glen. You can see their full menu, and to order online, visit pizzamiaonline.com. That's pizzamiaonline.com.
Here's the Amita Health tip of the day. Trust your instincts if you think you need emergency care. Amita Health's emergency departments are here for you with 24/7 access, experience, skill, and compassion, all in a COVID-safe environment. To find a location near you, visit amitahealth.org/emergency.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
For all the scores, from football to basketball to baseball, it's WJOLsports.com.
And welcome back. It is hour number 2 of the week 6 and final week edition of Pigskin Preview here in the spring on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Appreciate everyone coming on back. In a minute, we're going to be joined by Luke Lokanc, head coach of Lincoln Way West. First of all, some business to take care of. This edition, every edition of State Farm Agent. Wow. This and every edition. Shut up, Coach Joe. You just ruined the tease. Coach Joe's here, by the way.
Hello, everybody.
Say hello. There he is. All right, so Coach Joe's here. This edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet, like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
There it is. And Pizza Mia, 2 area locations, Homer Glen, New Lenox. Visit Pizza Mia at pizzamiaonline.com. That's pizzamiaonline.com. And gentlemen, we have some scores to report from the WJOL Don Lattis annual baseball tournament. These are finals. Lockport defeats Providence 12-2 in 6 innings. Joliet West defeats Lincoln Way West 11-0 in 5 innings, and Joliet Catholic defeats Joliet Central 8-2. That is a final. If you're watching this online, you see someone very like you just came off a baseball field.
Right. It's a little chilly out there too, boys.
A little chillier than the islands where you took your vacation last
I got
week.
Frostbite.
We'll get
I don't
into
know if I
that.
got my tan, but
We'll get into
frostbite.
we'll get into that later on in the 7 o'clock hour. In the meantime, we are going out to the phone lines, and we are going to be joined by the head coach of the Lincoln Way West Warriors, Luke Lokanc, joining us. And Luke, appreciate you taking some time to join us tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Edgy. Coach Rod, glad you made it on time.
I came for you, buddy.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks a lot.
Well, you know, Joe's a part-timer now, so he kind of comes and goes. Sometimes he goes on island vacations. Sometimes he's in Delaware. Sometimes he's in the studio with us.
Never know where I'm going to be.
We're just blessed when we have your presence.
Oh, boy, here we go.
All right, Luke, all fooling around aside, you, your kids, your community, you've got to be extremely excited, number one, how the season has gone so far, and the fact that you're 5-0 and taking on a district rival in Lincoln Way East. It's got to be a fun week.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride the last 18 months, and to finish it this week against Lincoln Way East, who, you know, everyone on our side of the district, the west side of the district, you know, appreciate and respect everything they have accomplished the last, you know, 5, 10, 20 years. And, you know, so much respect for Coach Zvonar, myself. You know, he's been a mentor to me for the last 15 years, and I've never been on his staff. You know, that's the type of man he is. But, you know, our kids, community, you know, everyone's excited, you know, and a lot of things have fallen into place, and, you know, our kids have been working hard, and the hard work is really showing now.
Luke, you know, it's a 6-game, you know, season basically, and both you guys are 5-0. And what I want to ask you is there some of the kids that kind of maybe surprise the coaching staff as far as their progression in these last 6 weeks?
Yeah, you know, especially playing in the spring. So you're going to have some seniors who, you know, might have grown 2 inches from the fall, you know what I mean? Or put on more weight, or, you know, and especially with the juniors too, they're getting that growth spurt that sometimes you wouldn't see. And we have seen a lot of that.
Luke, as far as, you know, it's been interesting. We talked very early on, Joe and I did, regarding what this season could be, and the pitfalls and everything else you could fall under. And I look at the other Lincoln Way across town from you at Central, and what Jeremy and the admin there has had to put up with scrambling, trying to find games. You know, in some regards, Luke, I think if you're able to get all 6 games in, you've had a successful season just on that level alone.
Yeah, you know, I've talked to Jeremy throughout those couple of weeks, you know, trying to find games and things like that. And, you know, our district with all 3 schools, it's been remarkable, you know, what we have been able to do, get all the games in, and it's a testament to our community, our kids, you know, doing things right, our administration, you know, and we're able to get these 6 games in, you know, and to let our kids compete at the highest level, you know, play as many games as they can, you know, and it's been really great to see.
Luke, no matter what happens on Friday, again, a very successful first season for you, and we're going to count those 5 wins, Edge. I'm telling you right now, I don't care what the state says, I'm going to count them.
Yep.
As a head coach, we all don't have enough time to do things. Did you, I'm sure, knowing you, as long as I have, you've had a checklist of things that you wanted to get accomplished during these 6 weeks. Have you checked off, let's say, 75, 80% of that or more? Or is it less than that?
No, it's, you know, we've accomplished, you know, more than, you know, we even planned out to do. And when it comes the wins and losses, but, you know, growing with these kids and getting these kids to compete every day, you know, this is an abnormal season, but we didn't look at it like that. We looked like it's a season, and we're going to do whatever we can for these 6 weeks to win as many games as we can. And that's a testament to the kids we have in our school, and, you know, the assistant coaches that I have. You know, it's been a great ride, and, you know, we're excited to finish it off this Friday.
Going into the week, Luke, is it more zeroing in on what you do and what you need to continue to do? How much of it is you guys obviously having a pretty deep knowledge of East and trying to counteract that, and just kind of your approach as a staff, as a head, as well as your assistants going into this week? How do you kind of tackle that?
Yeah, if it was a regular 9-week season and 5-week playoff, we would take the same approach. And what did we do wrong last week? How are we going to fix it? How are we going to grow within our group and our team? What do we need to do to stop who we're playing? And just like any other season, that's what we're doing for week 6. We look at this season as a normal year, and how can we continue to grow to play our best football at the end of the year? In a normal season, that would be in the playoffs all the way down to the state championship. And this year, we need to be playing our best ball, by Friday night.
Talking about some of the kids that people need to keep an eye out for, and one name that I continue to hear about and pops up is Eric Nowak and what he's been able to do. And it seems like colleges are starting to hop on board and take more notice of him. How important is he as far as going into a big game like against the Lincoln Way East on this Friday?
Yeah, Eric's his growth the last 2 years have been, unbelievable, and that's what has gotten his all these college looks with him. And he does, everything we ask, and with all our kids, and Eric's one of our junior leaders, and we have a lot of junior leaders and a lot of senior leaders. And Eric works hard, and each day he gets better and better.
Is there, and it's funny because the way the scheduling has gone for some people, we've seen some interesting matchups because of teams scrambling to fill holes because of COVID. Luke, is there a team out there that in the back of your mind, you've always said to yourself, yeah, I'd like to play them? Who is it?
Oh, I don't know. I never really thought about that. It would always be fun to play your alma mater.
I thought maybe we'd hear that. Maybe.
And I heard Cogsy was on the show too. Another guy who I've known my whole life. Someone I looked up to. He coached me, and they're having a great season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, my friend. Well, again, wishing you and everyone out at the Warriors best of luck Friday. Again, you are hosting Lincoln Way East. Huge game, certainly in the area. That is a 7:30 kickoff. And again, just go get them and best of luck.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Good luck, Luke.
All right.
Luke Lokanc joining us. And hi, Joe.
Hi, Edge. Hi, Evan.
We appreciate Luke joining us. And big game. There's a handful of big games. We've got time. We're going to break down after the 7:20 break. But this is one that's right up there.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
What are you playing? For
Coach
we were
Joe.
at
A supper club, ready to dance.
So do you want to? We got a couple minutes here. You want to tell people about your adventure last week?
I don't lie though, but the Hawaiian trip was really good. Debbie and I, we really had a good time. And
how was Delaware?
Cold. I didn't like that going from one side of the country to the other. And well, I thank WJOL too for flying me into the game on Friday night and flying me right back out to Hawaii to finish.
People thought we were kidding when we said Joe flies in for games. I'm telling you.
That's exactly. That's when I left Friday
Joe.
morning to fly in for the game. That's exactly what I heard at breakfast right there.
Oh, Joe.
We do have people listening, though.
That is the biggest takeaway of all. That
there was a lot of people out there
questioning
phone calls.
This stupid show that we do all this time, all these years. Believe it or not, people actually sort of listen to it.
My brother-in-law Rick, that lives in Miami, got a phone call. Said that, hey, I didn't know your sister and Joe were in Hawaii.
We didn't even say Hawaii. People just took that and ran with it.
We said island vacation.
Well, islands.
We were trying to respect your privacy while you were gone, Joe.
But then I told you, and then I rolled out the old joke about which island, Stony, Blue, which one did they go to?
That's right.
And you guys are still laughing over that stupid old joke.
Oh,
So hey,
my.
whatever.
Yeah, it was very interesting. The phone calls that I heard people got.
I love it.
When I had people, actually, we had even JCA Bobby came up to the.
Hey, Joe, how's your vacation? What are you doing here?
I thought you were on vacation.
Oh, that's right. You just fly in for games.
Yeah, I told him I just fly in for the games. They're flying me right out after. From the Joliet Municipal Airport. Unbelievable. People do listen, though, Edge.
I know. That's encouraging. I would say, Evan, I'm feeling pretty confident. We're like in the mid to upper teens now for regular listeners.
Yeah. Usually it was just our immediate family.
Yeah, no, we're well into that. We're well into teens.
I don't think we're at the 20 mark. Maybe playoff pairing night we hit 20, but consistently we're in that.
Well, that's when we bust out the big gun Dewey. So
everybody comes in
like groupies and stuff. It gets crazy. So, all right, we're gonna step aside and take a break. When we come back, we're gonna break down all the area games. We're gonna have open phone lines if you want to call and ask Joe about his island travels. Love to recap. Joe might have some pictures we might even be able to share. You're listening to the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. We'll be right back.
Wait, what groupies?
Rick and your friends at Citywide are blowing the horns for their 47th anniversary sale right here in Shorewood. Still at the same store. They couldn't be happier to serve for another 47 years, and you can celebrate with huge savings right now. Let's start with the Serta Perfect Sleeper. King set, $894. Queen set, $624. How about the Serta Bed Tech one-piece king? Set up in your home, $1564. Queen delivered setup, $994. More legendary names? They got them. Serta Bed Tech Gel Max King. 10-inch, $974. King 12-inch, $1174. Queen 764 and $964. 8-inch Gel Max Queen, just $574. Simmons Beauty Rest Mattress of the Month, King $874, Queen $654 with free deluxe frame. Geneva Ruby sets with 10-year warranty, King $1184, Queen just $914. Go to CityWideMattress.com and print out the April anniversary sale flyer and save on so much more. They deliver safely to your home with their guys on their trucks. Save huge until April 30th. Citywide Mattress, just 2 blocks west of 59 on Route 52 in the Shorewood Plaza. Citywide Mattress, we deliver a good night's sleep.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage.
We are in full-fledged save money mode, but we still need a new air conditioner this spring. No way ours makes it through another summer.
Same here. I already called Roscope's Heating and Cooling, and great news, they are offering special financing for eligible clients. 25 months interest-free for qualified equipment, plus they're going to hook us up with ComEd rebates, so we will be saving on the system itself.
That's a lot of savings.
Absolutely. Now we can count on lower energy bills this summer, too. So we save money in 3 ways. That's why I always call Roscope's Heating and Air Conditioning. They're always the best value, especially with 25 months interest-free financing and a rebate, too. Win-win.
I need a win, too, and some AC. I'm calling Roscope's Heating and Cooling.
Call them today or go online, ROUSCULPS.com. ROUSCULPS.com. Do it today. Financing offer ends April 30th.
Your mom will look as young as she feels when you give her a gift certificate for Mother's Day from Joliet Dermatology and Morris Dermatology. Dr. Carrie Ann Jenkins and her staff are ready to treat mom to a pampering med spa experience, including the Strawberry Lemonade Facial Special, or smooth out lines and wrinkles with microneedling or Botox, and freshen her skin with dermaplaning or a chemical peel. Why not treat you and mom to a rejuvenating session with our skincare experts who have new skincare products to keep skin glowing and professional sunscreens for protection? Need a new skincare routine? Book a consultation and get expert advice on what your skin needs to get healthy and ready for summer now with Joliet Dermatology and Morris Dermatology. Call 815-666-1742. Medicare and most insurance plans accepted. Joliet Dermatology, 823 129th Infantry Drive in Joliet, and Morris Dermatology at 1499 Lakewood Drive in Morris. Learn more at JolietDerm.com.
What a year, what a winter.
We can all use something to be happy about, and saving money is a good way to start. So why not reach out to my office, the Malloy State Farm office, to see what State Farm Bundle can do for you. Simply call 815-463-5800. Like a good neighbor, the team is there for you, and make sure you tune in on the first and third Monday of each month from 9:30 to 10 on WJOL to listen to our news segment, Helping Life Go Right.
Save today on your next project with 11% off everything now at Menards. Max Bond Exterior Paint and Primer in One delivers superior adhesion to dirty, chalky, and glossy surfaces. Right now, pick up a gallon of flat paint for only $38.19 after 11% rebate. Start saving with 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through Saturday, April 24th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The best football in the state plays right here on 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com.
And welcome back. This is the week 6 and or the final spring edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with, you know him, you love him, he's back.
I'm back.
Island Joe, Cowboy Ray,
whoever you want.
Back in the saddle. Glad to have him back, along with Evan Bredesen. We are here talking IHSA football. You can't tell that by looking at Coach Joe right now, but trust me, we're here to talk. We'll talk baseball again. We've got 3 final scores, Evan. I believe we're looking for one more, correct? We're looking for what? Minooka and Plainfield Central?
Correct.
So we're looking for that score. We do have 3 scores already in the books from today's Don Lattis WJWL baseball tournament. Lockport, a 12-2 winner over Providence. Joliet West, an 11-0 win over Lincoln Way West. And Joliet Catholic, an 8-2 win over Joliet Central. So we hopefully will get that last score for you before we finish up here. But in the meantime, phone lines are open, 815-254-7300. We're going to break down the area schedules, and I also threw a couple of things out. Is Lincoln Way East the number 1 team in Chicagoland, ladies and gentlemen? I think I know how the Lincoln Way East fans feel about it, but there seems to be a little bit of disagreement back and forth, at least from a polling standpoint. Some are saying Lincoln Way East. Some are, like myself, saying Loyola. So I'd be happy to talk about that. Anything else you have on your mind if you want to talk about the impact of this season? I would like to hear from maybe a few senior parents regarding what their experience has been like going through this. Evan?
Bob is on the line.
Well, Bob joining us because Joe's back with us. Hello, Bob.
What's up, guys?
Oh, we're doing fine, sir. So you've got one more week here to the spring. We going to blow it out Friday night over at Joliet Memorial, or what's the plan?
I don't know. We didn't discuss it yet, but I hope it's better than what we had last week.
How does that work, Bob? Walk us through it. Do you have a regular discussion during the week? Do you plan out menus and what you're going to do? Fill us in.
Yeah,
We'd love to know.
We do. We just talk and see what we want to grub up, So if we get enough for guys to grub certain things, So
what?
Everybody tailgate now because they all want everybody not to. So
Yeah. When you were tailgating, what's the biggest hit? Is it the chili?
chili, barbecue pork chops.
Ooh.
Yeah, barbecue pork
bratwurst.
chops. Yep.
Okay.
Hot dogs, all kinds of stuff.
Was there something you guys tried that just didn't go over very well?
Oh, we make stuff that we eat. We don't
Everything's
waste
good
food.
at Bob's.
Okay, well,
no, everything's good, Edge. I'm telling you.
All right, Joe. I believe you.
Barbecues, we make barbecues.
Okay. Very good.
Italian sausage with
Very good.
peppers and all that stuff.
I think your Hilltoppers are going to be fine Friday, but Joe, Evan and I talked about this at the beginning of the show. Take it on Marmy, and again, you really don't know what you're getting. They've only played 2 games this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in the 2 games that they've played, they've been pretty tough.
Yeah.
So, it's if I'm Jaws, I'm definitely, and again, Jaws is going to take everyone seriously, but it's kind of a mystery of kind of what you're going to get from Marby, and will the extended,
You can't take them for ease.
yeah, I mean, will the extended downtime play a major impact, or could it possibly help them? I don't know.
Yeah, should help them a little bit, you think?
Yeah, again, it could and it could. I mean, I'm just saying the physical aspect and being in shape and having some wind and stuff, it may play a big part in the second half.
Yeah, that's especially the early games during the spring. We noticed that second half teams are just gassed, absolutely gassed. All right, Bob. Always glad to hear from you, my friend.
Have a good one.
We will be
Rob,
back.
take care.
We will be back. Yeah, Joe. I hope you enjoyed Hawaii.
I did. Thank you.
Joe, Bob, we are planning to be back in the fall. We are planning to be back on Thursday, so we can.
Going to do a wrap up after this week?
What's that?
Going to do a wrap up for the last week?
Yeah, I need to get that clarified, but let's plan on that next Wednesday.
All righty.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye, Bob. Take care, buddy.
All right. Appreciate Bob chiming in. And Joe, let's go through the schedule a little bit.
Oh, well, before I was actually going to ask Joe a
Yes, sir.
question, because Bob had mentioned it about last week's game with Joliet Catholic and kind of the large disparity of talent and size on the field. And I was just curious your thoughts about last week's game and how it kind of ended up playing out over the course of 4 quarters.
Again, it was a game for 5 minutes, as I told Edgy Friday night when I talked to him. Again, nothing against DePaul Prep, and Edgy and I have talked about this. As far as enrollment is concerned, probably pretty even, but athletic-wise, as far as football is concerned, it was no contest.
Well, let's get into this, because I actually do a podcast every Sunday with Mike Clark from the Chicago Sun-Times and Northwest Indiana Times, and we touched on this quite a bit. I think the ESCC, CCL as we know it, is going to get split up again. And again, this is my opinion. I'm not giving any inside information. I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. But I can't tell you that a lot of the same problems that was run into with the Metro, those of you know what I'm talking about, are the same issues that are being run into with the current configuration. The small schools are getting kind of bullied into these crossovers. They don't want to play them. It's not fair for them to play these crossovers, but they're kind of getting forced to do it. And I think this COVID shortened season might be the shove out the door. I would not be surprised to see quite a few of those smaller enrollment privates, Catholics, want to move on and do something different. And Joe, who knows, you might see some configuration of the ESCC come back. You just might.
Yeah, I mean, St. Joe's, of course, we all know, we've talked about it last week.
Closing,
2 weeks of
right.
closing down. And yeah, I first of all, I don't blame those smaller schools at all. I mean,
it has to work for them, and it's not working for them.
Right. And it's not, again, it's just the competition level. You want to play. I mean, everybody wants to make the playoffs, but you want to play a schedule where you at least can compete in games.
Right.
And again, it was just one of those games that they were trying, just like Ignatius tried. I mean, they had a great game plan, just a little bit too much talent on Joliet Catholic side. But last week was, if there is a poster of why they should split up and why they should be more evened out, that was the game on Friday night.
Evan, I know you've got some thoughts on this.
Well, I was just going to say, going back to the Metro, for people who don't remember, that was in 2000, 2001, 2002, I believe, right around that time. And that's when I started going to Joliet Catholic. And I remember there was talk at the time that the smaller schools were unhappy about the disparity in scheduling and that they felt like they didn't really have a say in scheduling. If I understand correctly, and Edgy, tell me if I'm talking out of turn here, when this was reconfigured just within the last 24 months, it was my understanding that one of the ways they ended up getting the smaller schools to agree to come back and kind of reform this idea was the idea of, we're going to be more flexible on the scheduling.
Right.
We're not going to make you guys, we're not going to make, D-list out. We're not going to make you guys have to go to Mount Carmel every year, or you have to go to Brother Rice, or you have to play Joliet Catholic. We're going to try to be flexible with the scheduling. And they went, great, we're in. And then they got in, and it seemed like the attitude kind of became, all right, you're here, we're making the schedule. We'll tell you who to play and when you're playing, and you just be happy you're playing games. And it kind of felt like the rug got pulled out from these smaller schools who thought, wait a minute, we thought we were going to have more of a say this time around, and we have as little of a say as the last time. And last time we left because of it. What's going to stop us from leaving this time?
Right.
Yeah, it's 100% it. And that's basically the same issue that was run into before. It's the bigger schools kind of calling the shots in the conference, and it's not going to happen. And again, what's interesting is that there are prior relationships with the Joliet Catholics and the East Suburbans, with the Marist, and I guarantee you the Catholic League doesn't want to lose Marist because Marist is
and that's the
a great
interesting thing.
addition.
I think that's going to happen if they do break this off and say we go back to the Catholic League and the East Suburban. If people think we're just going to go back to those conferences aligned the way they were beforehand, no, there are some teams that are going to go, I kind of like being in the Catholic League, and there are going to be some old Catholic League teams that are going to go, ideally playing some of these suburban teams, maybe getting more favorable matchups. Like, it's not going to look identical to the way it looked before. It's going to be different. We might have two conferences again, but we're going to have kind of a shifting and a realignment. And I think you're spot on with Marist, especially with their location.
Yep.
It never really made sense why they were in the East Suburban. It always felt,
I just think,
like it just was something that just kind of happened naturally, and they just
Joe,
kind of ran with it.
Joe, you know this. I think it's the relationships that they were able to build up. And again, a lot has changed since the ESCC was around. You've got a lot of ADs that have moved on, so it's a new group. But I think right now people are willing to listen and try to hopefully find a better solution for what they have now, because what they have right now just isn't working for them.
Because when I was at Joliet Catholic as a football and the head baseball coach, that would the East Suburban Catholic was the conference, and it was a good mixture of all the levels, and all the schools were. There were some schools, of course, like St. Joe's, very good in basketball,
right?
But the majority of and of course, Marist dominated the wrestling, but with football and baseball, it was pretty close. There was a lot of good rivalries.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was the baseball coach, it was Marist. I mean, it was like you flipped a switch, and it was like game on, and it was some really good games, and that was a heated rivalry at Joliet Catholic in baseball when I was the head coach, and Don Keener was the head coach at Marist. But the same thing goes with football too. I mean, it's there was those rivalry games even with Marist and some games like that.
I don't know how quickly they, meaning the schools that are unhappy, can flip that switch. I don't know if that's something that would even begin to approach at this time of year. I think what you'll see happen is they'll probably play out a 2021 fall schedule, and then you'll start hearing about change. That's my guess. Total guess.
Because it's I would say it's too late right now.
Because you don't even know what we're doing we don't even know what we're doing for the summer as a sport right now.
Exactly.
We don't have answers on that. So it would be hard to figure all that in. And, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to jump a conference and be ready to go in the fall. I don't see the timing.
Because usually you would know better than I would when you when you have those things happen with conferences and switches. It takes 2 or 3 years.
Time.
It takes 2 or 3
And,
years.
and again, I know we're football centric on this show, said the guy in the Joliet Catholic warm up, baseball warm up, but we are. And again, it's not being conceited or arrogant, but football generally is what drives these conference alignments,
without a doubt.
So
without a doubt.
that's just the reality, like it or not. And I do see it coming. I definitely see it coming.
I mean, I can talk about it from my own personal perspective, being a cross country and track guy in high school, where for 2 years I'm racing against one group of kids from schools.
Yep.
And then, we were in the ESCC the whole time. The football team was the one that was switching. So, the football team's like, oh, we're switching conferences again. We're like, been in the same conference for 4 years. There was no disruption. There was no change.
Right.
We were racing against all the traditional ESCC teams for 4 years. And again, that goes to show it's football. Football is what moves the needle, and you have to be aware of that. And I knew, as my parents would say, it's not right. Why do they get new uniforms? Why doesn't everyone get new uniforms? Well, uniforms are expensive.
By the way,
sport generates revenue.
Yep.
Right, exactly.
By the way, before we go up against a break, everyone listens to us, including Joe. You'll be impressed with this. Bronco Nagurski listens to us.
Bronco, good.
And says, we don't even know what school will look like in the fall.
Well,
that's a really good point.
That is a great point.
Really good point. So
I know.
And we talked about before you came in for your part-time shift tonight. I'm kidding. I'm just giving you grief. I appreciate you coming in, by the way, off the baseball field.
I know you do.
I appreciate it.
I know.
But as far as this contact tracing, there's no way we can have a fall season if this is going to continue. There's no way. We talked about it earlier, you and I.
Not until the high school kids get their vaccine. But you're right. I mean, it is, you just don't know. I know, well, again, it doesn't matter to me what goes on next fall in schools, but I know at Lamont, they're hoping to have everybody there, but I'll guarantee you they're going to be wearing masks.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee that.
Yeah. Yep. So again, very good point brought up there.
Yes.
So we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, I believe we have all the finals from the Don Lattis WJOL baseball tournament. When we come back, we will give you those finals and we will set the stage for tomorrow night championship run. You're listening to Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports.
Tried laxatives, nothing worked. Announcing the National PoopFix.com challenge.
Hey, Kenesha here. I always felt bloated, like I needed to go, but couldn't. Laxatives, fiber, probiotics, nothing worked. Then I found PoopFix. PoopFix worked. Bloating, gone. Making my waist look 5 inches slimmer fast. I feel so sexy hot, and my fiance, well, let's just say, love life is fireworks.
Hi, my name is Bob. The PoopFix.com challenge works. Never knew I could go like that.
Sandy here. Now I have perfect bowel movement and got my son and best friend doing it. Bloating gone, making our waist look slimmer. Wow, fixing my bowels makes such a difference.
This is Dr. Rick. PoopFix works for my patients without laxatives, probiotics, fiber, diarrhea, or constipation because of its revolutionary ingredients. It means a gentle, clean, and easy bowel movement first thing in the morning. It's the easiest way to slim your waist fast by reducing bloating. Poop better, not more, by trying the PoopFix challenge at poopfix.com. That's poopfix.com.
This is the big one. This is the one all the teams want. The championship trophy of the 16th Don Lattis WJOL Memorial Baseball Tournament. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of next week. WJOL will see 8 of the area's top teams battle it out for bragging rights. Lockport, Plainfield Central, Providence, Joliet Catholic, Minooka, Joliet West, Joliet Central, and Lincoln Way West. For brackets and game times, go to WJOL.com.
Fans are welcome for state regulations. Masks and social distancing required.
Better sleep means a better you. That's why Mattress Firm came up with the Rest Assured Promise, featuring the best mattresses from America's best mattress brands. Like the Temper Breeze collection, available now, with a $300 instant gift good towards your choice of sleep accessories. Visit with our sleep experts in-store, online, or by phone to find the right bed for you. Only at Mattress Firm, America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with a booming voice that emphasizes all the main points. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
That part is super important.
Here's one with a booming voice.
I'm emphasizing everything.
Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance.
Like a page with every word highlighted.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Liberty, 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 liberty.
Our friends at RJ Graham Plumbing have an incredible offer for WJOL listeners. RJ Graham Plumbing is giving away one Navian brand gas tankless water heater. That includes installation and a 5-year warranty on the unit, parts, and labor. All from RJ Plumbing. This is a $5,000 value. All you have to do is head over to WJOL.com to enter to win a tankless water heater with installation from RJ Graham Plumbing. Tune in to 1340 WJOL every Tuesday morning at 9:30 for Life with Vitality, hosted by local weight loss and wellness expert Davis Jaspers from Vitalife of New Lenox. Life with Vitality covers health topics related to weight and diet. Learn more about your body, the science behind weight loss, and how the Vitalife program can help you lose 20 to 40 pounds in 40 days. Listen to Davis Jaspers on Life with Vitality on 1340 WJOL every Tuesday at 9:30, and learn about the Vitalife weight loss program at vitalifeweightloss.com.
It's a high school football season unlike any other we've experienced. The cold, crisp autumn nights have given way to the unpredictable spring weather here in the Joliet area. But regardless of when high school football is played here in Will County, we know that the passion, the hunger, and the excitement is there. Through COVID, through the lockdown, through remote learning, the wait is over. High school football is back.
And this Friday night, we will be in New Lenox for Providence Catholic versus Montini. Hear it live on WJOL, WJOL.com, and on your smart speaker.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the week 6 edition, spring edition, if you will, of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL Will County's news, talk, sports, and ladies, gentlemen, the field is set for the Don Lattis WJOL baseball tournament. We finally got that final in Minooka, the Indian, the place where I will be Friday night, by the way.
Okay.
They defeat Plainfield Central 4-1.
Wow.
So here it is, the tournament, championship tournament tomorrow at Lockport. The championship game will be Lockport hosting Minooka for the championship. The third place game, Plainfield Central will host Providence for the third place game. The fifth place game, I believe, Joe?
Yes, is us in Joliet West.
Joliet West at Joliet Catholic Academy. That is the fifth place game. And then the seventh place game will be at Joliet Central. The Steelmen will host Lincoln Way West. And again, listen to 1340 WJWL for all the info and score updates and what have you. And that the final round, the championship round, will be played tomorrow. Championship game is out at the DuPage Medical Field. Championship game between Lockport and Minooka is a 7:30 first pitch, 4:30 first pitch for the third place game. And again, that game also at DuPage Medical Field. So there you go. The field is set, and go check it out.
Yes.
Should be a little bit warmer tomorrow, Joe, I believe.
3 degrees warmer, maybe 4 or 5.
Woo, heat wave.
But 80 by Tuesday.
There you
Welcome
go.
to the Midwest.
There you go. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
All right, let's
Spring
go.
in Will County, ladies and gentlemen.
There you
Exactly.
go. That's
All right, let's go through the area games. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Coal City, Wilmington, Peatone, all done for the year, Joe.
Yes.
All decided early that they were only playing a 5-game schedule, as you well know, baseball, I'm sure.
Yep.
Big part of that. A lot of those kids play multi-sports.
Sure.
Is Coach Tolley ever going to talk to you two again?
No,
No,
never.
He's done
His kids are throwing, like, there's a dartboard now in his house.
No ice cream.
And the wife hates us because we're finally going to take the kids probably off her hands for a little while.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll never see that.
He'll never talk to us ever again. So way to go, Joe.
I'm sorry, Coach Tolley.
The WJOL game of the week, Joe, you'll be covering Montini travels to take on Providence at Bishop Caffer Stadium. I mentioned this earlier, Joe. I have no idea what to expect out of Montini, or just it's been an up and down year for them.
Right. And I think Providence, I know you talked to Coach Coggs earlier in the show. It seemed like they've hit their stride. It seemed like every week they've gotten better and better. And like you said, I mean, this is Montini's 4th game. And again, the first 2 games, Mount Carmel and St. Rita, were pretty tough.
Yeah. So they've bounced back.
Yeah. But yeah, you just don't know what to expect.
Coal City ended up 4-1. Wilmington 5-0,
Right.
Peatone 3-2, but I mean, successful for all 3.
Yes. Played all 5.
Plainfield South, unfortunately, Joe, we're on a pause, and now they're being paused for the final week. So they are going to finish 3-1. And again, it's a shame for Coach Bicker because they were having some success and
Right.
could have very well wound up being 5-1 if things went their way here.
Yes.
Another terrific game in the area, Lincoln Way East at Lincoln Way West, Joe.
Yeah, again, as I said a couple of weeks ago when they played Lockport and everybody was excited about the game, and that until you can knock them off, they're still the best team in our area. It's going to be interesting, the offense for Lincoln Way West versus the defense of Lincoln Way East.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's going to be the key.
It's gonna be in the trenches, right? It's gonna be
Exactly.
because they're gonna try to power run, keep the East
front
offense
seven,
off the field.
the front 7. Yeah, it's going to be. As I saw when they played Lincoln Way West played Lincoln Way Central in the second half, they just decided, hey, we're just going to try to pound you, and much like what Lincoln Way East tries to do to you, but yeah, it's going to be interesting.
By the way, the phone lines are open up until we're done with the show. 815-254-7300. Marmion on the road taking on Joliet Catholic at the stadium, Joe. Again, as we talked about, just don't know what to expect out of the cadets.
Right. And the games they have played have been really
They've been
close.
good.
And again, I just think, like I said, last week, the game, for about 5 minutes was a game. Joliet Catholic has to come out of the blocks a little bit better than they have the last 2 weeks.
Plainfield East, again, they were on pause, I believe, last week. They will wrap up the season on the road at Joliet Central.
Plainfield East. I'd love Tony to get a win, but I don't think so.
Plainfield Central, they are on the road taking on Joliet West. Bill Leck's team looking to go 4-2 with a win.
Again, Joliet West, I did not see a score, and I know you know this. You never know this. Did they beat Eisenhower last week?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty handily.
I told you. I'm telling you.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Tigers.
Interesting game out at Lamont Friday night. They are hosting the 4-1 TF South Rebels.
Come on, Edge.
Come on, what?
Oh, Lamont.
Really?
Yes.
I know.
You know, I
had to
saw,
make it sound
I saw
interesting.
that they had a nice, and again,
Go Lamont.
It's my fault. I can't remember the young man's name, but the running back that was born with only one.
Yeah, I know.
What a terrific kid he is too, and I thought there was a very good piece about him.
Lockport at Stag. Again, the Porters looking to wind up 4-2, and again, a successful year.
Game over.
Wow. Tin Man, huh?
Oh, yes.
Game that I will be at. It's Edgy Homecoming in Manuka Friday, Joe.
You're gonna christen the press
I will
box?
be leading the parade, and
All right, sweet.
it'll be a lot of fun. We'll have live reports from Manuka during the afternoon rush. So 7:00 kickoff. Manuka host Oswego, Joe. Always a good battle.
Yes, they're
Joe, I don't know if you like this or not. I don't know if you know this, but they don't like each other very much.
They don't?
Nope.
Oh, nope. No pleasantries between them.
Nope.
What a shame.
I'm going to pick the Indian and beating them this time.
There you go. Morris looking to finish 4-2. They are on the road at Sandwich.
I'm going to pick the Redskins.
Way to go on a limb, Joe.
Yeah.
Here's a great game. We talked about this earlier.
But I like sandwiches though.
Evanston on the road at Lincoln Way Central.
Wow.
Isn't that a great game?
Yes.
Isn't that great?
They're good. They're going all over. And you said it perfectly a couple weeks ago that teams are playing games that they would never play, like Lamont and Bolingbrook, even though, they handle them pretty good. I mean, you'll never play those games.
Well, and we talked about it earlier in the show, how we hope that kind of this spirit of renewed cooperation and scheduling games, we're hoping that maybe this is something that continues on.
Something different.
Or maybe teams will keep calling one another and keep communicating, and we'll get some interesting non-conference matchups like this, rather than teams trying to chase playoff points or chase wins.
Exactly.
One thing we didn't get into because it didn't really impact the area, but there were some conferences that had grand plans of playoffs the last 2 weeks and having the North against the South. And by the way, a lot of those have kind of been thrown in the wastebasket, if you will. A lot of those haven't worked out. Central Suburban South against Central Suburban North, that's not happening. Mid Suburban is kind of working out that way, but there's been some cancellations, and what happens is you get one or two with COVID, and it kind of throws everything for a loop.
Well, we were talking at one point before we knew what the season actually looked like. Wasn't there talk at one point about some type of like either in week 6 or in week 7 a bowl game where you
some of those are going.
Although they are
the Duquesne with Batavia, St. Charles North, Wheaton South. They're playing 2 games. I think 2 games Friday, 2 games Saturday at Northern at Husky Stadium.
Really?
1 o'clock and 4 o'clock kickoffs on Saturday. That's where I'm going to be Saturday. My wedding anniversary, by the way, spending it covering football.
Oh boy,
she's working though, so I'm good.
I was gonna say she's thrilled you're out of the house.
Exactly.
She's celebrating.
She's been celebrating for the last 6 weeks. But they were able to pull it off. So I'm gonna go watch both those games on Saturday. But most of those plans have kind of fallen to the wayside. Joe, Plainfield North on the road taking on Yorkville, both 3-2.
Oh boy. I'm going to take Plainfield North.
No, Homer.
Well, of course I am.
Bolingbrook, John Ivelo looking to get his team to 4-2 on the year. They are on the road at Andrew. I got to check that. I guess that game still is on. I thought I heard some rumblings about Andrew.
They're riding the ship. I'm going to pick the Brook there.
Yep. And again, another interesting COVID-related schedule game. Romeoville on the road at York.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And that's almost like a Joliet Catholic trip to Carmel, trying to get to Elmhurst.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Oh, I don't know.
Come on,
I
Joe.
don't know.
Nothing's as bad
Well,
as
that-
going to
you know,
Carmel on a
that's right.
Friday.
Slap me. I agree that nothing's worse than that on a Friday night. That's
People
for sure.
laugh, but I tell them you're better off flying into Milwaukee out of Midway and renting a car and driving down.
Again, if you've never experienced that, you ought to at least one time.
Evan, can you catch commercial flights out of Joliet Airport or no?
We can set something up. I can make phone calls.
Do you have a helicopter, like a traffic helicopter we could go use?
It's usually
How awesome would that be?
It's usually just for Joe, but yeah, we can take it out.
Well, Joe just flies in for games. So
You know what? It was fun. Do I have a minute here to tell
Yeah,
this
you
story?
go right ahead.
Remember the late great
It's story time.
Tim
with Coach Joe.
Tim Weigel.
Yes.
Okay. Remember when he
Yes.
used to fly around and
It
go
was
to big
awesome.
games and stuff?
It was phenomenal.
I was at Providence at the time, and Seth comes up to me on a Wednesday. Goes, "Hey," he says, "Tim Weigel's coming in a helicopter. He wants to land on your infield." I go, "No." I go, "There's no way he's landing a helicopter on my infield." And Seth thought I was kidding. I go, "Seth, I'm not kidding."
he thought you were joking.
Yeah,
I'm
I
landing in the Kmart parking lot.
I actually said that. I go, "Why don't you just land?" Well, there might be. That's when Kmart was open. So I finally gave in. He landed.
There might be some discount shoppers roaming the parking lot.
Come on, Blue Light Special. I had him land a helicopter in center field. I wouldn't, and I stood.
There you go.
I
You still with your arms folded on the
He stood on the
infield.
pitcher's mound, and he waited till that thing
as
touched
the,
ground.
as the
and Tim Weigel
helicopter
got
was
out.
flying over the baseball
Yeah, and he said,
field,
I
I'm
like Mark Jean Greco
over
better
there,
anyway.
Over there. You could land that sucker over there.
Surprised you didn't spray paint a target on center field.
That's not a bad idea. I should have. It was too dark. You probably couldn't have seen it. But
Story time with Coach Joe.
Love it. Actually, somebody called me and asked me about that. I go,
Land on
that
your
is true.
infield.
That is true. I did. I forgot all about till one of
Did
my.
you have like the cones out trying to help the guy land?
Keep going a little bit farther out in center field.
So I have a question. Tim Weigel literally went around covering high school football.
Yeah.
It was a
yeah. It was a big deal, man.
I never heard about this.
It was huge.
They would go to like 2 or 3 games on a Friday. They would land at one and he'd take, they'd take a couple, 3 minutes of video and then they'd go to another and then so.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
It was.
It was a big hit.
It was.
It was a big hit.
Huge.
I would do that.
Well, that was back, Joe. That was probably the Wednesday playoff game era, if I remember. Some of that.
Well, this was. I know. I remember. It was
No. But I'm saying that era was when you
were
had the
playing
Wednesday
Wednesday.
playoff
Yes,
game, and that would be all over the news.
Yeah. That was a huge deal.
Yep.
If Tim Weigel came to your high school in a helicopter, that was
Yep.
a huge deal.
Story time with Coach Joe.
Oh boy.
I love it. I wish I could have just one season. I wish I, as someone who has covered high school football professionally, I wish I could have experienced what it was like to cover the Wednesday playoff games and then the turnaround
coached in
quick
many
for
of them.
games on Saturday.
Coached in many of those games. Yes.
What was that like getting ready for a game on Wednesday and then turn around and play it
Chaotic.
again that weekend? What was that
Chaos.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I the year when I was at Providence in '87, we played Morris, the first game down at Morris. I remember getting in the bus and Butch Markel's. We stopped at a gas station and must have bought the whole ice chest out so kids could put ice on their bodies on the bus going there. And again, it was the second game was the most difficult one because you had only one day to prepare.
Yeah.
It was tough. Lot of film study in those days.
Actual film.
Yeah, actual 16.
There were some.
Watching 16 millimeter on the
Yep.
kitchen
Yep. Little
wall.
blanket. Yeah.
You can watch on the kitchen wall.
Those are the
Charting
days.
plays down. Run that back. Run that.
Wasn't there also stuff with film and Seth and him not wanting to
Well, that's the
trade,
reason
and
why
they
I still
said no, you have to.
Well, because Seth used to send us all over the place. I mean, I remember going to Kewanee and Geneseo and all over the place, and Seth would say, "Well, we got you scouted."
All right, we got to wrap up. Unfortunately, story time with Coach Joe's got to end. But it sounds like I'll be back next week for a wrap up. So if that's the case, great. If not, that's the case. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
For Coach Joe, for Evan Bredesen, I'm Edgy Tim. Week 6 in the books. Have a good week. Go see a game if you're legally allowed, and social distance, wear a mask, and get vaccinated. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.